What's up, Randy Wineglass, LMFT. We're out here at Maku'u Point, trying to find a good setup spot. Find a good setup spot for you guys. Yeah, I had to. My daughter's taking her nap right now, so show you guys the view. We're here at Maku'u Point, not too far from our place out here. Maku'u Point. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Maku'u Point. I'm just trying to get set up. Finish this conversation about boundaries. See if I can find a good spot. It's not too crazy. Yeah, so we out here in Maku'u Point. Really beautiful location. Hope you guys can hear me. We good? Are we clear? I kind of want you guys to see the waves. Can you see the waves? My my camera joint is kind of funny. Boundaries part two. We're gonna break it down. From right here. I don't know. We're gonna do it like this. Give me some little time to get logistically set up. I don't know. What y'all think about that? Is that good? Cool Point out here in Kiau, Hawaii. Gonna break it down for you. Are the invisible lines that define what's okay and what's not okay in your relationships, your space, energy, and time. Chase your dreams, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, we out here in Maku'u Point. Got a little view. Just wanted to finish my thing on boundaries, give y'all a little taste. My man out there fishing. How you doing, brother? Wait. Waves are out here hidden. Hey, great fisherman. Hey, Kelsey. Yeah, just out here finishing this discussion on boundaries. Is that a good view for you guys? What you think? Something like I had a little setup. Let me set it back up. I'm over here on lava rock, so I gotta set it up. You know, lava rock is like really unstable, so I gotta find a good piece of lava I can sit it on. Let me see. I think this is good. Is this good? Can y'all see? I think this is good. Yeah, I think this is good. So, boundaries. Boundaries protect your physical, mental, and spiritual boundary. The ocean Meeting the land, that's a boundary. We have boundaries around us all over the world. We don't, some of us catch it. It's a lot of spiritual lessons here. All of this is boundaries. We honor boundaries when we hit that beach up. We honor those boundaries of the land where it meets the sea. We honor it. So we're in this innately that biophilia, right, to honor boundaries. I got some lava rock down here. Excuse me, guys. I don't want to break my. So people can honor boundaries when they go to the beach. That's a boundary. People honor. Boundaries protect your emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Why are boundaries important? Boundaries teach people how to treat you. A lot of times we get in relationships, friendships, working relationships, parenting relationships, sibling relationships, children relationships, and the dynamic is not balanced. It's really unhealthy, because we're not properly reiterating our boundaries in those relationships out of fear. Relationships, they won't like this and that. But that relationship present itself in the quality that meets your needs and others' needs in a healthy way, you have to have exhausted or anxious. This is why a lot of times we resent family members and we have sibling rivalries and like, damn, do I really want to be here? Do I not want to be here? Because maybe the boss talked to you a certain way or treat you a certain way that's not respectful. And you're not really saying much about it because you don't want to rock the boat, or a coworker said something inappropriate or came at you or approached you inappropriately. So you end up having this resentment, which, for lack of better words, is just you end up feeling disgruntled and disappointed because your boundaries are not being respected. Your limits are not being respected. Human beings are created with parameters. We're not just these unlimited where you could just treat us any kind of way. So you end up being resentful, exhausted, anxious. You get nervous. You see this a lot with men and women. They just don't want to present themselves in certain spaces because their boundaries are not being respected. So boundaries allow room for space, respect, and self-responsibility. If you want true love and to be love comes with respect, honor, integrity. If you want love the way you deserve to be loved, it has to be within boundaries. Some things are okay, some things are not okay. For example, infidelity. That's a boundary. Some people, they agree to have an open marriage where they allow multiple interactions with different women, different men, and that's okay. That's their boundaries. But then you have relationships where people are committed, and that's a boundary. That's a violation. So you have to, depending on the nature of your relationship, if that's a relationship where infidelity is prohibited, you have to be faithful. You have to be loyal. You have to stay within that boundary. The wind is kind of strong out here, guys, so I hope you can hear me. I took the little fluffy thing off. I took it off when I needed it, and I leave it on when I don't need it. Ain't that something? So self-responsibility. It's our responsibility to take care of our well-being and our needs and to make sure that we're being treated the way we deserve to be treated. You walk into an office or a school or a family situation, and you might not have been born into an environment with boundaries, but as you become an adult, you have a choice to stay in the situation or not, or to, let others know what your boundaries are. So signs that you have healthy boundaries: you know without guilt, you protect your time and energy, you take responsibility for your own emotions and let others do the same. Signs you don't have boundaries: you often feel taken advantage of, you say yes when you want to say no, you feel emotionally drained after interacting with certain people. Kids can really do this to you when you want to spend time with certain family members, or you want to babysit your friends' kids and you don't want to be rude, but it's maybe the child or the young person, I'll say like around 8, boundaries. You tell them to get off their iPad at a certain time, they're still on the iPad. You tell them don't use certain language, get up for church, they don't want to get up, all these different things. And sometimes you get a little anxious You get a little uncomfortable. And you see this even with adults too. But I use children because sometimes it's really hard for adults to really set boundaries with children, especially if it's not their own children. Depending on the person, older school adults are really good at it, but I notice like with the younger folks, it could be a little challenging for them to really set boundaries. So here's some studies, boundaries and mental health. A 2020 study in Journal of Counseling Psychology found people with firm personal boundaries had lower levels of depression and anxiety. Ain't that something? So you could go get some antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications, but look and see, where are my boundaries not being respected? Where are the gaps in my boundaries that I can kind of reinforce or revisit anxiety, pressure that I'm experiencing? Dr. Brene Brown notes that the most compassionate people are also the most boundaried. Boundaries are learned, they're not inherited. According to attachment theory, Bowlby and Ainsworth, people raised in enmeshed. So enmeshed is where essentially there is no fine line between where your emotional well-being and responsibility ends and the others begins. Sometimes in enmeshed situations, there's a lot of codependency. There's a lot of over-functioning for the other person. So it says, according to attachment theory, people raised in enmeshed or neglectful households often struggle with setting boundaries. So if you grew up in a collectivistic culture, Hispanic, African American, minority culture, some European cultures are collectivistic, and it wasn't about the individual, it was about the group, you more than likely are going to have a hard time setting boundaries in adulthood because that wasn't your norm growing up. That wasn't your familiar setting. So it says here, healthy boundaries often need to be consciously developed in adulthood. Cognitive load and lack of boundaries. The more decisions you make for others or tolerate boundary violations, the more it increases mental load. Linked to burnout, American Psychological Association. The more decisions you make for others, right? So this is you taking on people's responsibility, taking on other people's work. You're going to set yourself up for burnout. You're going to be burnout. Sometimes it's good just to look at the water, and it's really refreshing. It's a good, in a way, like cleansing of the mind when you get to look at, the ocean and different things like that. I hope you guys are blessed with that opportunity. Really good, really fresh air out here in Maku'u Point and Kiau. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So the more decisions you make for others or tolerate boundary violations, the more it increases to load linked to burnout. If you burn out, more than likely it's because you're not setting firm boundaries. You're taking on other people's tasks. You're doing favors for everybody. You don't want to tell them no because you're scared they're not going to like you. If they're not going to fucking like you after all the work you've done for them, after all you've sacrificed for them, time and sacrifice you gave for them, you need to cut down on doing favors for that person. Come on, man. It's not, relationships that are just one-sided are not healthy. You should be able to have a space for well-being and rejuvenation too. It shouldn't be on the other person. Lack of emotional boundaries can lead to codependency. This is from Melody Beattie's research on codependence. That's what a lot of codependent relationships are, just two individuals who don't have a clear set of what's okay and what's considered. Physical touch, your space, emotional, your feelings, time, scheduling, material, your possessions, digital, online. Each one requires clarity and practice. Boundaries in society that we still respect. Walking in line, not cutting in traffic, or not reading someone else's messages. There are boundaries we obey without even thinking about it. These unspoken rules are social contracts based on mutual respect. So it says when boundaries feel selfish, saying no may trigger guilt, especially if you were raised self-stewardship, not selfishness. Research in workplace psychology shows that employees with clear boundaries are more respected and less likely to become micromanaged. You're tired of being micromanaged and managers having you do this, do that. They got you running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Start setting some firm rules around what's okay and what's not okay. Hey, I can take this on. Thank you for your help and for your support. I got it from here. I don't really need to be micromanaged in this way. Start letting yourself be known, So How boundaries increase respect. Okay, yeah, so it reduces micromanaging. Setting boundaries reduces, a lot of just unhealthy dynamics. Phrases to practice. I'm not available right now. Let me get back to you later. That doesn't work out for me. Consequences of ignoring boundaries: chronic burnout, resentment, identity loss, dysfunctional relationships. When you don't enforce boundaries, you teach people that violating them is acceptable. Boundaries are ongoing, not one-time events. You don't set them once, you reinforce them consistently. Okay? When you honor your limits and stop overextending, people pleasing, and neglecting your own needs. Boundaries don't push people away, they allow deeper, more authentic connections. So I just wanted to talk about that. I hope my signal is coming in somewhat decent for you guys. Let me take this here at my cool point. I'm out here in my cool. So it's important to set boundaries. So just clearing the mind, getting some fresh air over here by the water. It's just a good healing place. The signal's really not that great out here. So if you guys can't see the stream too well, sorry that. I'll be in a better location next time. So yeah, having healthy boundaries, setting healthy boundaries is so important. I'm telling you, if you want to reduce codependency, if you're tired of being micromanaged, you want to reduce anxiety and depression, the research says you have to start setting firm boundaries, setting some firm boundaries for yourself. All of this in the background is a boundary. Where that land meets the sea, that's a boundary. That's a boundary right there. So just out here in Hilo, Hawaii, having a good time. We got the little tropical setting in the back. We got the lava rock down here. So good for the right. All of this down here is some hard lava that's then hardened. Yeah, so get out, get you some nature, get a taste of nature, take yourself out, look at the ocean, get a little taste of the ocean, go out there and see the world, activate those five senses to help reduce that overthinking with thoughts that produce, not setting boundaries. This person's not going to respect me, this person's not going to like me if I do this, right? They're not going to like this if I set this boundary. So that's all I had out here at Makuru Point. Enjoying some of the nice beach. I'm gonna get out here and start learning how to fish. Do some good fishing out here. I'm gonna learn how to do some fishing out here, guys. I see a lot of guys out here with the fishing rods. I'm not the. I'm gonna try to learn while I'm out here. Let me put this thing in real quick. Yeah. I notice people who have a hard time setting boundaries when they go out in public and they're trying to do the right thing. Others are so quick to set boundaries. Hey, you can't do this. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. You know, it's like really funny how that works. I think God is trying to teach you, hey, set some boundaries too. Not to be mean or rude, but it's okay to say what's okay, what's not okay, and to kind of protect yourself. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you're having a blessed day out here at the Maku'u Point. Peace.